Hi everyone, I will explain about the differences between instance variable, class variable and local variables. Look at this image. The instance variable default initialization of integer value should be 0. In case of the class variable, the default initialization for the integer data type should be 0. In case of the local variable, there is no default initialization. You must be initialize the local variable explicitly. Otherwise, it shows compile time error. If it is integer, the 0 is the default initialization for the instance variable and class variable. If it is a string, the default value should be null for the instance variable and class variable. Okay, in case of the local variable, there is no default initialization. You must be initialized explicitly. When it comes to the scope of the instance variable is within the object. Then scope of the class variable is within the class or enter the class. The scope of the local variable is within a block or else within a method. Then I will explain you with the help of the example. Look at this example. The x and y are the instance variable. The a and b are belongs to the local variable which has been declared inside the method 1. Then I created the object to the class. The method 1 has to be invoked by the object. Then control comes to here. Then all values should be displayed. I will run this application once. See here, variable A might not have been initialized. The variable B also has not been initialized. The local variable must be initialized in Java. There is no default value for the local variable in Java. That's why we could initialize the values. Then A value should be 10. Then B value should be, for example, 20. Then I will run the application once again. Then x and y value should be 0 because they are instance variable. The default value should be 0 for the integer. If it is a string, the default value should be null. If it is a double, the default value should be 0.0. Here a value and b value also be displayed. Both are belongs to the local variable. Let me explain about class variable or static variable. Both are belongs to the static. Now the x and y variables are declared as a static. Now when we run this application, look at here, the x value becomes 0 and y value becomes 0. Generally, the static variable or class variables has to be initialized with the help of the static block, then static. Then if you want to initialize the class variable explicitly with the help of the static block, the x value should be 100, then y value should be 200. The scope of these static variables or class variables are within a class. Then I initialize the static variable explicitly. At that time, no default values has to be initialized. Then I will run the application once. Then x value becomes 100, the y value becomes 200. Then local variable a value should be 10, the b value should be 10. Okay, this is about the static variable. When memory has to be allocated to the static variable at the time of the loading a class into a memory. Because static or class variable does not belongs to the object, it belongs to the what? Class level. Okay, there are the differences between static variable, instance variable, and local variable. The static variable or class variable default value should be 0, and instance variable default value should be 0 for the integer data type. Then local variable, there is no default value for the local variable. It must be initialized explicitly. If any doubt regarding these differences, you may ask at any time through the comment box. Thank you. Thank you all for watching my videos.